All right, y'all. In all honesty, I had zero intention of eating while recording this video, but my food happened to come a lot earlier than I expected, so why not, you know? So I guess before I even get into this video, while we're here, let's just, sit, chat it up a little bit, catch up. How's life been for y'all? Y'all know y'all been doing good lately? Think about some things you were doing this week. Think about some hardships that you went through, things that got in your way, trying to stop you from accomplishing your goals. Just take some time to reflect on your week, because I know for me, this week has been a weird one, man. I feel like obstacles, they always gonna come, but this week it was hitting me a little bit. But guess what? We made it through them, and right now I'm looking forward to something great. Hopefully, if everything goes well, y'all be seeing that video soon. I've been keeping myself busy, working on myself, working on my goals. I hope y'all are doing the same thing. We got some Wendy's. I was working on some stuff, decided to get some food, you know. So we went with Wendy's. I wanted McDonald's, but they canceled my order, so I went with Wendy's. And also, if I'm not looking at y'all, I'm looking at me over here on my second screen, making sure everything looked good for y'all. I had to get myself a spicy chicken. If y'all eat Wendy's, comment down below your favorite thing to eat, so I know y'all in tune. For me, go-to always gonna be a spicy chicken sandwich. So as I said before, I've been just keeping myself busy, trying to stay focused and not let things get into me. That's kind of been my mindset for this past week. Just always study yourself, recognize patterns. Now, none of this has nothing to do with the video today, but you know, this was unplanned. We're just gonna sit and talk for a little bit. I recently dropped the podcast episode with Danny. Shout out to Danny. How do y'all feel about the podcast? Y'all like the podcast we got so far? We got 3 episodes out right now. We got one with the first episode with Dalton. Y'all seem to enjoy that one. Then we had the second episode. I was just by myself talking about a big topic. Then recently we had the third episode with Danny, discussing a few big topics as well. Honestly, that was one of my favorites. That was a great episode. Shout out to you, Danny. I'd love to have y'all back on the podcast again. I want to get some more guests as well. So let me know if that's something y'all enjoy. I'll keep them coming for y'all. Now, other than that, on my most recent videos, I also been giving y'all certain challenges and homework, so you could say, for y'all to tackle and things like that. Have y'all been trying them? If you have, what's your experience been like? I'd love to hear about it. You could drop it in the comment section. Y'all could share it with each other. You could go to my Instagram. However you want to do it. I'd love to know you guys' story and how your journey is going. I like hearing about what you guys got going on, what y'all learned from my videos and things like that. So please don't hesitate to share it in the comments below. This video, we're gonna be talking about failure, embracing failure, and why failure is an ally. Why failure is a good thing rather than this heinous thing that's bad, all bad thing that everybody makes it out to be. You know what? Why is failure so great? How can you embrace failure and things like that? We're gonna get all into that today. Real deep. All right, we finished that. That was pretty good. So we're gonna be talking about failure, as I said, and why failure is actually a good thing if you allow it to be. Now, pretty much I just said, failure can be a bad thing or a good thing. A lot of people tend to look at it as a bad thing, and that's mostly because of how you look at it, what you do with failure. What failure is for you has a lot to do with, and almost is completely to do with, what you do with it. So let me give you an example, just to give you all an idea of where we're going with this, right? So, and I'm gonna try to stray away from the basketball analogies for this video. Let's try to do some new ones, right? Recently on my podcast, one of the topics I had was rejection. Rejection is probably the most common failure or the most relatable failure to anybody, because it's something that everybody has to go through in life, whether that be failure with a a woman you're trying to talk to or you want to get to know, or failure with, just failure with, that be business relationships, anything like that. That's rejection is a failure you got to get used to. You got to get used to hearing no. That's a big one that's relatable to anybody. I would say. So with that being said, let's say let's say you approach a girl you like, right? This is new to you. You never done it before, or you don't do it very often, so you still don't feel 100% comfortable. But you get out of your shell, you go and do it anyway, right? Chances are that girl might say no, right? She might say I'm not interested. She might say I have a boyfriend. She might say you're not my type. She might say anything, whatever the case may be, right? Now you can look at this one of two ways. You can look at it and say, "Man, she does. I failed." Right? Either way, it was a fail. But I'm gonna show you how this fail could be a victory, right? Depending on how you use it. So let's say you that happens. She says whatever she says. You could look at it one way, which is the way we don't want to look at it, and say, "Man, she doesn't like me. Am I ugly? You know, this thing approaching women just isn't for me. They don't like me. I'm not funny enough. I can't compare to these other guys. All this, right? That is when your failures turn into failures. I think there's a step, right? Failure isn't failure to me until you let it be failure. So it wasn't a fail until you allowed it to be. It wasn't a fail until you had these thoughts in your head saying, "Man, she doesn't like me. I'm not her." Whatever the case may be. But there's another way you could look at it, right? This is the way that the mindset of a winner. Okay, I approach this woman, whatever the case may be. She says whatever she says. She says no. She doesn't want to give me her number, whatever the case may be, right? Now, first thing that comes in the mind of a winner is gonna say, okay, well, first thing first, it's not always a you problem. It's not always a you problem. It's not always personal. It's not always that she doesn't like you. It's not always that she doesn't like you. It's not always that you're the problem. It's not always that you're not her type. A lot of times it could be situational. It could be that your timing was wrong. Maybe she's going through something right now. Boys is the last thing on her mind. Maybe she's has some kind of situationship going on. These are things that are out of your control. It has nothing to do with you. So it's not personal. When she rejects you, it is not personal. That's the first mindset. Second, I said, okay, when a person fails with this mindset, they think, okay, there's a reason why I failed. It didn't just happen. Most failure has a reason behind it. Whether that reason be out of your control or in your control, there's always a reason for the failure. This is when you sit there and actually think and assess the situation and think, okay, what did I do wrong? What went wrong in that situation? When I came up to her, I came onto her too strong. Maybe she was a little uncomfortable, a little uneasy, whatever the case may be. Maybe my approach was too loud. It scared her, started her a little bit. So the rest was just out of my control. Maybe that was the case. Maybe you were a little too straightforward and that made her uncomfortable. Maybe you said something that was, off putting to her, whatever the case could have been. There's always a reason why you failed in a situation like that. And if you can't have the maturity to say, you know what, okay, I did something wrong or this went wrong, and actually look at it and think, how can I grow and improve from it? You will never get out of that mindset of just failure being so terrible. Failure in this way could be a great thing because think about it. If I think, okay, I realize, I came a little too aggressive and kind of started her a little bit. Maybe next time I approach a woman, I want to come off more gentle, a more gentle approach. Hey, how you doing today? Wanted to come and introduce myself because I thought you were pretty. Something like that, something more gentle. Whatever it may be. These are only way you can find out these solutions is by having the maturity to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I did something wrong. Let's fix it. You got to be honest with yourself. It's all about accountability and awareness. You got to be honest. So that right there is basically going to be the baseline of what this video is about. Just why failure is a good thing if you allow it to be. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Failure is only a failure if you allow it to get there, okay? Now that I gave you all the kind of baseline or idea of what this video is going to be, I want to go ahead and get into why failure, the action failure, is a good thing. But to help you understand why it's okay to fail before we even get to the rest of it, right? So for starters, my first point I want to get into is failing will allow you to save a lot of time and money in the long run, right? What I mean by this, let's say you want to start a business. Let's say you start a business. I'm sorry for saying it 15 times. And I'm going to give you an example of two different people, right? So there's guy number one, there's guy number two, right? Guy number one, he wants to start a business. And what he's doing is he's trying to make everything perfect. He wants this to be perfect, this to be perfect. He wants this to be the perfect timing, perfect everything. First product, he wants to be perfect. He wants everything to be perfect, right? So now he's spending time day after day reaching perfection, okay? Reaching perfection. As we all know by now, we're adults, we're grown. Some of y'all might not be, but you're old enough to understand that perfection is not possible. You cannot be perfect at anything. You cannot make anything perfect. You can never do anything perfect. Perfection is a fantasy. Like, it's great to chase because you'll always be improving because you cannot be perfect. So imagine sitting here trying to make everything perfect before your first launch of the business. How will you ever be able to launch? Because your business will never be perfect. You'll never have everything down to a T. It's not possible. All the planning you do, things happen. Things can happen that are unplanned for. You know, there's all types of different outside factors, but this is not what the video is about, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But there's so many outside factors that can change the whole course of your plan. Then we got guy number two. He says, well, I got the idea of what I want my business to be. I got my supplies to start. Let me go out and get my first client. He gets his first client. Let's say it's a barber business. He gets his first client and, you know, he cuts the client's hair and, you know, realize he didn't do the best job. The client says he didn't do the best job. So the barber goes, okay, you know, I won't charge you for this one. Can you tell me what I did wrong? You know, the client might say, you know, the fade right here, the blend wasn't the smoothest blend. Maybe the bald line was a little too high up on the guide right here. You know, maybe he whatever the case, right? Now the barber has something to work with. They know what they need to improve on. So they can now base their practice around this. I said this in my hard work does not equal success video, right? So now they can base their practice solely around what they need to improve on instead of doing all the guessing. We want to eliminate the guessing. Guessing it makes things a lot harder than they need to be when it comes to anything. That's why in the build your routine video, I said you want to eliminate as much guessing as possible because it's discouraging. It doesn't make you want to do things because it's like, now I have to do extra thinking and your brain isn't always at maximum capacity. So you want to take as much guessing out of the game as possible, eliminate as much confusion, right? That's always the goal. So with this, now I know what I want to base my practice around to improve on. Now when I go to my next client, okay, wow, your blending is real smooth. I never had my blend this smooth and the guidelines were so good. I just wish the scenery was a little more comfortable. Okay, now I know what I need to improve next. My customers want a nicer scenery. They want to walk in and feel comfortable. They want to walk in and feel at home. So now that's my next focus, is to make my clients feel more comfortable because I have the skill to produce a good haircut. Guy number one doesn't get all this information because he's too busy trying to make everything perfect before even launching. He hasn't even started. I'm already well in making money before everything is quote unquote perfect. And I'm learning in the process, all because I wasn't scared to fail. I wasn't going thinking everything was going to work out. So how could you call guy number two a failure? Yes, he had some fails along the way, But because of what he did with it and how he turned it around, can you call him a failure? It's really hard to try to call guy number two a failure when he's already this far into his business and he's still improving. Try to call him a failure even though he had failures. You know what I mean? So that's the point I'm trying to make. It's to save you a lot of time and money in the long run. Another point I want to make right here is, think about it, right? Failure is going to be something you have to deal with all your life. From this point forward to you've had to deal with it since day one. Your mom telling you, no, you can't go to McDonald's because we don't have McDonald's money, okay? But you still never stopped asking as a child. That's why I say that I feel like ever since we were children, we lost a lot of things that I wish we held on to, a lot of things that were sucked out of us that we should still have. Because kids, we knew our mom was going to say no, but we still weren't afraid to ask because we knew what we wanted and we wanted to get it. And that time, those few times your mom decided, you know what, let me say yes, I bet it felt really rewarding, didn't it? So much so rewarding that you probably forgot about all the times she said no because you were so excited to enjoy the victory that you had. That's how I want you to approach new situations when it comes to failure, right? So, like I said, you're going to have to deal with it so far into your life, it's never going to end. So, get used to it now. Start getting out there and doing things and get used to hearing no. Get used to getting rejected. Get used to failing and everything not going your way because you're going to have to deal with it a lot more in the future. It's not going to stop. But if you start doing it now, you'll have your reps in. It's like a muscle you have to work out. A lot of things, we have like physical muscles and we have a lot of mental muscles. We got a self-discipline muscle. We got a just different muscles we have to work out mentally, right? And this is one of them. You got to train yourself to not feel anything personal when it comes to rejection, not feel anything personal when you hear no or when you fail at a task, because now you have the mindset, okay, there's a reason I failed. Let's figure out what that reason is and let's improve upon it for the next time. That's the kind of mindset I want y'all to develop. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give y'all some ideas and some tasks on how to develop that kind of mindset so we can all work on it. Like I said, I'm on this journey with y'all, so I'm going to be doing these challenges with y'all, and hopefully I can update y'all on how these challenges go for me so y'all can know I'm not bluffing. I really do go on these challenges and try to improve myself just as I tell y'all to do so, right? After a certain amount of failures and things like that, you'll become a pro at adjusting, at making adjustments, adjusting and just analyzing different situations. And then at some point you'll get so good at it that you can actually make these adjustments right then and there. You can realize, because you have the awareness now to where you can say, you know what, right now this girl I'm talking to, she seems a little uncomfortable, a little uneasy. Let me say something that'll make her more comfortable, feel more comfortable around me. Let me, right now my YouTube channel isn't doing the best numbers. Maybe let me change what time I upload my video. Let me change the scenery. Let me change the lighting. Let me upgrade the microphone quality. Let me try a different editing technique. You gotta try stuff and see what works. Analyze, and it'll help you get to the results you want. You can't just expect everything to fall in line for you. Sometimes it feels like it goes out that way, and that's nice. It's always great to have it happen like that, but just expecting it is not what you want. You don't want to expect things to fall in line. You definitely want to expect things to work out, but don't expect everything to just fall out in front of you. Don't expect the pathway to just create itself. Just start walking and hope you can figure out the best path just by analyzing. And you hear me saying analyzing a lot. And the reason why I'm saying that, really, the power of the question, the video I just recently dropped, the power of the question and embracing failure really go hand in hand. They go together because you have to use the power of the question in order to get to the reason why the failure happened. You got to ask the question. You got to ask the why. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? What can I do to not have this happen again? And what can I do to fix it? What can I do to make it better? Just you got to ask these questions because you have to be able to analyze and come to a solution. That's why studying this has given me the kind of question mindset of just me constantly asking questions, constantly trying to look deeper into stuff, because this is just the kind of thing that's helped me through my journey the most. The power of the question has been the biggest help, and that's why I want to make a part two, going a little more in depth. But embracing failure is something that I've gotten a lot better at since I started, but something I still want to improve upon, because I still don't like to fail just as much as the next guy. But I'm starting to see why failure is such a good thing, and I want y'all to see it as well. So let me give y'all some challenges and some ways that you can improve on this skill, on how you can embrace failure. Challenge number one, I have already started prior to making this video, but I started for a good reason, right? And this is something I want y'all to start. So way number one, I'm going to give y'all multiple. Way number one to start embracing failure is learn a new skill. Pick up a new skill, pick up a new hobby, whether that be a sport, start playing basketball, start bowling, start playing pool, bowling, darts, whatever. Pick up a new hobby. Pick a hobby that you know you're going to like, but you know you're not good at. And challenge yourself to get good at that hobby, whether it takes 2 days, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. Challenge yourself to get good at that hobby, okay? This is going to help you understand that there's a process to it. When you're not going to be good at everything that you start, you're going to have to practice, get better. You're going to have to learn and grow. This is with anything in life, but when you pick up a new skill, these are going to train your mental muscle to understand these certain aspects, right? For me, I decided to pick up the piano. I'm currently teaching myself how to play the piano, self-taught, right? Obviously, going into it, I knew it was going to be difficult, but it's the failure. Picking up the piano, I realized, man, this is a lot harder than it looks when these professionals do it. Watching videos is not going to help you. You have to get out there and actually do it. So when I picked up the piano and I started playing, I realized, you know what? My finger position a little off. So what do? I practice my finger position. Once I feel that is more comfortable, okay, I need to understand the notes. So I'll teach myself where the note placements at. Okay, I know the C comes before every 2 black keys. These are things I learned because I realized, you know what, this is not my strong suit. Let me learn it. So now playing the piano is a lot easier because when I see a note, I know where to put my fingers at, right? Then I learned, okay, I need to learn sheet music because I need to understand what I'm looking at so I can play a certain song or whatever I want to learn if I want to learn a new piece. So that's currently what I'm learning right now, is how to read sheet music. So I will be updating y'all hopefully on that as well, but pick up a new skill, challenge yourself to get good at it, okay? Number 2, step out of your comfort zone, right? Now, the first one I already stepped out of my comfort zone with that one, but in a different way. And what I mean by that is publicly, more so publicly. Start approaching more women that you like. Don't expect to get them all because you're not. It's not going to happen. It's just something that we got to accept. Start approaching more women. I actually encourage you to even approach women that you don't think you're going to get, just to get that failure out the way and say, you know what? Once you get there, maybe when you get there, like let's start approaching some older women that, like for me, I know I look young. So when I approach an older woman, I know she's going to think I am young. She's going to say that I'm young. Okay. I expect that kind of rejection, but I want to learn from it. I want to be able to train myself to analyze and see what I could do better and how I can flip it into my favor, right? This is the only things you can really learn by just experience. So I'm going to be doing that as well. Not that specifically, but also another way, go out in public, ask for discounts that you know you're not going to get. I read this in a book. I think it was the Power of Self-Discipline book, but it might not have been. It might have been a different book. But go out and ask for discounts you know you're not going to get. Ask for free stuff wherever you go that you know they're not going to give you free stuff. Just start doing things that you know aren't going to go your way. right? Safely, of course. That's what I want y'all to do. I'm going to be doing that over the course of, the next couple weeks and just report back to y'all on how that goes. So I'm probably going to try to keep that on my Instagram or whatever. We'll see how it goes, right? Way number 3, when y'all set your goals, okay? It's a new month. It's May. We're going to begin in May. If you haven't set your goals for the month yet, go ahead and get that started. If not, get your goals ready for the next month, however you want to do it. If you want to do your goals by the week, do it however you need to do it. But set your goals higher. Start setting your goals higher. This is step number 3. Start setting your goals higher. When you set your goals, set them to things that you know are probably not achievable or don't feel achievable. So, for example, let's say you say, you know what, by the end of this year, I want to be making $8,000 a month. Okay. So let's say we can start making $8,000 a month, but let's just say, let's make the goal, let's make it $12,000 a month. Write it down as 12,000. Even though you want to make 8,000, let's write it down as 12,000. Why? Because you're going to be grinding hard for this 12,000. And if you don't make it to that 12,000, you'll still be close. You'll still be close. You might have failed, but you tried your hardest. And you need to understand that sometimes that's all you can do is try your hardest. Try your best. Not everything's going to work out the way you want it to work out. But you can always give it your best effort. You know what I mean? Like what they say, aim for the moon, so if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. That's what they say. Basically meaning aim as high as you can. Set your goals to the moon. And even if you miss, even if you don't make it that high, you'll still be in that area of excellence. That's a great place you want to be. Number 4, start sharing your failures. Start sharing your failures. Tell people about your failures. If you tried to talk to this girl and she rejected you because you were too short, start telling people. Embrace that it's okay. Make a laugh out of it. Make it a learning lesson for the next person. Do something. Start sharing your failures so you could tell yourself, you know what, this is nothing to be ashamed of. I can share it with people. This is nothing to be ashamed of. It's okay for me to share it with y'all because I'm not ashamed. My YouTube video only got 5 views. I can share that. I'm not ashamed of it. It's okay. It's not always going to be perfect. But I'm gonna keep making these videos because I want the next one to be better and the next one to be better and so on and so forth. Start sharing your failures with the people around you, people that you care about. Start sharing your failures with the internet. That's what I'm about to start doing. That's what I want to do. Share my failures for y'all so y'all can feel like I'm with y'all. Y'all can I know y'all know, but I want y'all to understand that I'm one of y'all. So I don't want to make this video too long. I don't know how long it is right now, but I pretty much said all I wanted to say, I believe. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Just a reminder, quick reminder: failure is an ally. Okay, failure is only failure if you allow it to be failure. You can turn a failure into success. It's all about the mindset. It all starts here. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.